How's it going, everybody? Max and Sean here. Recently, I had the chance to go check out the DayZ, and we put up some gameplay clips, some trailers. You guys obviously had a very positive response about it, so I wanted to give you a little more context for what you saw. And to help me do that, I brought Sean here because he's played the DayZ, which is kind of like the DayZ, which I've never played, so I thought, you know, we can do a little back and forth.
Sure, absolutely.
So having not played DayZ, tell me about mission structure.
Well, that's the beauty of DayZ, is that there's no structure to speak of, really. The whole point is that you're on this open world, this island, and you're just trying to stay alive.
Okay.
There's zombies out there who are trying to kill you. There's a whole bunch of other player characters out there who are trying to kill you. The zombies want to kill you because you are a zombie.
Yes.
Wait, no.
Because they are zombies. And you're a human.
The players want to kill you because there's a finite number of resources in the world, and everybody else wants what the other person has. Okay. So there's really no missions or structure really at all. The beauty of that game is that it's just super open-ended.
Well, in the DayZ, it's a little bit different. Okay. There are missions, but all of the missions are user-generated.
Oh, okay.
So outside of the game, there's a system, a tool you'll be able to use that wasn't in the build I saw, unfortunately, but you'll be able to go in and sort of set mission parameters and put them up on like a mission board that other characters can then log in and they can choose a mission off of that board. So he gave me some examples like, you know, basic stuff like go out, collect 10 of these items, and then once you've done that, you know, turn them into me and then I'll give you some sort of cash reward or something like that.
Okay.
Some of the more devious examples he gave were like, people would create a mission that's like, hey, I need a bodyguard to help me get through these woods because, you know, there's like zombies and stuff out there.
Oh, right, yeah,
I need, you know, some protection. So the bodyguard comes, they team up, go out into the woods. What does the guy do? Boom, hits him in the head with a hatchet, takes all this like gear and guns and stuff. So there's not really a system to govern that sort of deception, so you have to be a little careful about which missions you decide to take on.
Okay, so there's an element of that in DayZ in the sense that every relationship you have is shrouded in an air of mystery, because everybody out there could potentially be trying to kill you secretly in 5 minutes, and you never know. That's interesting.
Well, the DayZ definitely has the secret assassin aspect to it.
Right, yeah.
Moving on from that, in DayZ, are there any sort of like instance areas or safe houses or safety of any kind?
I mean, the most safe you are in that game is when you first spawn and you have nothing of value whatsoever, because that means that people... yes, there are people who are going to try to just pick off like the people who are fresh spawns because it's like shooting fish in a barrel. But at the same time, you have nothing of value and nobody wants to kill you yet. Okay. But there are no real safe houses. There are houses, but you never know when a zombie's gonna come running inside. Okay.
In DayZ, you can actually purchase these like instanced strongholds for your character. Okay. And the way that the producer described it to me is basically you'll get to load into your own little instance area, and it starts out as like a big forest with like a tiny house in the middle. All right. And then as you progress, you can sort of like add on to it or build it up or change it in different ways. And some of the examples he gave of player-created like instance strongholds were pretty interesting. One guy apparently created this giant like gladiator pit, and he would trap zombies in the pit, and then people could like walk up, and he had like a little storefront in the actual game, and they could pay money to go fight in the gladiator. Or no, it was free. For free, they could go in and fight the zombies in the gladiator pit and like win prizes. And then if they wanted to pay money, they could be a spectator and watch other people fight in the gladiator pit. Other people were doing like their own sort of fight club type situations too, where they would invite people in, have them fight, and do different contests and get prizes that way. So how do you build these structures? Is there like a Minecraft element where you're picking up blocks and like hauling them over and carving your own out? That's a very good question. Right now, since the game is in like such an early alpha phase, I imagine it was just going in and like changing some code to make that happen. Oh, okay. But no, there wasn't any sort of like terrain deformation or Minecraft element that I saw, but apparently there will be some flexible tools in there with how you can customize your space. Can I lure people in to fight zombies and then be like, oops, the ladder disappeared, you're stuck in there forever, also here's 30 more zombies? Maybe. I mean, it is up to the player to move in at their own risk. I mean, the game isn't forcing to do it. Sounds like fun. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is combat. Combat, okay. How is combat handled in DayZ? I mean, it's a first-person shooter built on the Arma 2 engine.
So it's got that sort of like realistic military weaponry aspect to it. I haven't played in a few months actually. Since I last played, I believe they patched in melee weapons and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it plays like a first-person shooter, really.
The WarZ it sounds like it's pretty similar. You do have ranged weapons. Most of the demo that I played, he like gave me a gun straight away, but apparently guns are kind of rare, but ammo is super scarce. But you also have, everybody starts out with a giant mag light, and you go around and you can bash zombies with your mag light if you want.
That's pretty sweet.
Everybody will at least have some sort of melee weapon, and then you can find like baseball bats and other things to use. But otherwise, yeah, combat is pretty straightforward. You know, not like the tightest, sharpest shooter controls, because it's like in an MMO space. Yeah, so pretty like laxed. Looking over my notes, there was one more thing I wanted to add. There are time capsules, which I thought were kind of neat. And basically, they're super cheap to buy, but you get one, and you can write a note and put it in the time capsule and then leave it on the ground in the environment, and it'll be like a permanent fixture that other characters can come by and like open it up and find your note.
Oh,
and
so that's almost like a Dark Souls kind of thing, where you're writing notes to other players.
Yeah, totally a Dark Souls thing. And then the way the producer described it, he was hoping like people would leave like little crumb trails, maybe like role play a survivor and like, here's my story from point A to, you know, to point X way out here, and each step along the way you learn a little bit about my backstory or whatever.
And then at the end, you're lured into a zombie pit.
I know, and then at the end you go into a zombie pit and he's like, surprise! Give me all your stuff. So yeah, hope that gives you guys a little bit of a better idea about what the WarZ is about. It looks, what I saw was like super early, and what they're showing in those trailers and stuff is super early, but the concepts behind it sound really interesting.
Is it called The WarZ or just WarZ?
I believe, that's also a good question. I think it is just WarZ.
Okay, because you're alternating here.
Am I switching back?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's WarZ, but don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But obviously you can go on GameSpot.com, find more videos and trailers about it, and we'll be sure to bring you more coverage about the game as it becomes available.
There's one more zombie.